So you can't quite fit a swimming pool in your garden, and maybe the football pitch is out, and maybe the big garden room with full gym and spa setup is also out. But it doesn't mean you can't maximise your space, and we're here to help you do that. So this is our top 5 tips for maximising space and using small gardens to their full potential. So tip number 1 is thinking about your garden as a whole and maximising the space, and use multi-use layouts. So when you start thinking about what you're going to be doing within your garden, is there areas that can be purposed twice? So for example, I'm sat in a little area at the back of my garden, and although our garden's not like terribly small, it's actually very narrow. So we've got to use the rules that we're laying out in our video here really to make the space feel bigger. And here, this area is predominantly for growing, so it's very start of spring at the moment, and nothing's in the beds yet, but there will be. But we didn't just want to use this space for growing because the sun gets in here most of the day, and it's a bit of a shame just to have an area of the garden that we're only using for that. So we spaced the paving out and the layout so that we could have some benches here. We've got a reflection pool here, like a relaxing space that we can hang out in, and we thought, okay, we can actually use this place to hang out but also to grow. So think about that within your space. Is there areas that you could maybe combine for cooking and relaxed seating? Are there space saving furniture you can buy that can be used as more formal dining but also as relaxed seating when you want to put your feet up and sit in the sunshine? When you're looking at your garden as a whole, look to divide it into spaces or rooms, and you can do this even if you have a very small garden. Don't be afraid to break the line of sight visually even quite early in your garden when you come out of your back doors, because it will actually, instead of feeling a bit more enclosed, it will actually bring a journey into your garden and bring a feeling of space as you navigate through it. So maybe you could do this with some hedging or some planting, or maybe a particularly nice like small tree, something like that. And then this will just make your garden appear visually longer. If you have just a big blank empty space that's just paved, your eye can immediately see front to back, left to right, the whole garden, and you're not actually left thinking, oh, I wonder what's around the corner, and that actually makes the garden feel smaller. And to help you maximise the space, think about the type of paving materials you're going to be using. So for example, in this area here, we were thinking of maybe just using sort of standard flagstones, but at the last minute we were thinking, what will this make the space feel like? And in fact, big flagstones here will probably just make the space feel a little bit smaller. It'll look the same as the rest of the garden where we've used flagstones there, and it will fill the space quite quickly, and maybe make it not feel so big. So we adjusted design and used the smaller format pavers. So these are still a limestone, which matches with some of the paving that's used throughout the rest of the garden, but they're in a much smaller format. So these are Blissford pavers, and we've spliced them in with South Binding path gravel. Again, that is another trick to try and make the space feel a little bit bigger, so you're just not looking at one type of paving material. All the paving is broken up. We've used a different type of paving, a clay paver, inside the greenhouse, again just to try and bring a different colour, a different texture, give that feeling of a bit more space. You don't want to go overboard on different colours and textures, just 1 to 3 different variations on a theme, and then that will give you enough to bring some variety. And you can do that even within a small space. So think about using not only flagstones, but maybe if your area is very small, maybe even ignore flagstones completely and look at paving sets, cobbles, clay pavers, limestone pavers, and use that as your main paving terrace option. This brings us on nicely to tip number 2, which is choose your materials with intention. So when you've got a smaller garden, when you're sat within it, the focus is on fewer things. The garden is smaller, there's fewer things within it, and therefore you'll be focusing on them more. One of the big advantages of a smaller garden though is that you'll spend on things like planting, fencing, other boundary materials, edging materials, paving. It will be lower because obviously you need less of it. So think about what it is you're actually going to be buying and look at the alternatives that are a bit more expensive. Can you go for a bit more of a premium option without breaking the bank? Now, if you've only got 15 square meters of hard terraced area, the difference in our ranges from some of the cheapest things we do to some of the most expensive things we do is actually only £400 or £500. Now, for some people that might break the bank, but if you've actually got sort of fair few £1,000s to spend on your garden renovation, a few £100s going for a nicer quality of material actually might be money very, very well spent. Now you also need to be matching the materials you use in your garden to how you're going to be using it. So if you've got a busy, hectic lifestyle and you really don't have time to be spending looking after your garden, then you're going to need to be thinking about your hard landscaping materials and your fencing materials and making sure that they don't actually require too much maintenance from you. Likewise, if you're actually a bit of a keen gardener and you've got a design theme in mind that you want your garden to be English heritage or cottagey, then don't start thinking I'm going to put a clean cut porcelain tile, which is actually going to be completely wrong for that look. You need to be looking at the right kinds of materials for your property, your vision and your design. If you've got an older style property, you need to be thinking about landscaping materials that are going to fit with that. It's going to bring that heritage feel, maybe slightly aged looking materials that are aged straight off the bat, like some of our kind of Leamington limestones and some of our like heritage looking limestones and even our tumbled edge porcelains. If you actually got a very modern house and the plan for your garden is a low maintenance retreat, then perhaps you should be looking at something like the porcelain tiles, which are going to require far less cleaning and maintenance from you than something like a riven sandstone, for example. So tip number 3 is to prioritise light and reflection. So look at your garden as a whole and think about where the sun is at different times of day. And in conjunction with that, where do you want to be in those times of day? You've also got to think about how much light your garden receives. If your garden receives a lot of light and sometimes you're sat in the house looking out and the garden's bouncing back at you, maybe you want to create some vertical planting, trellises, fencing, screening, just to break up that reflection. If you've actually got north facing garden or it's in shade for predominant parts of the day and you're thinking, you know what, it actually feels quite dark and cavey a lot of the time, then you need to be picking materials that are going to help you combat that feeling. So you need to be looking at light and airy coloured paving. Like our sort of bright coloured porcelains are very good for bouncing light and giving a feeling of space, and so too is like the Leamington range of limestones. The Bristol limestone that I've got here is another one that's fairly light and summery feeling. I would definitely steer away from darker colours. However, darker colours have their place if you want to make sure that your plants and your furniture have something to pop off against. So say if you're someone that actually wants to create more of an outdoor room and you're actually thinking my furniture and my planting is going to provide the colour and I want that to be the centre of attention, then you're probably going to need to be putting in quite a dark colour paving so that there's a backdrop for your plants and your furniture to pop against. And it would be a good idea to use dark coloured screening, fencing, stuff like that as well. That brings us nicely on to tip number 4. So very important for small gardens to have darker coloured fencing and boundaries. There's a few reasons for this, and it's not only because it does help plants and furniture and things like that pop to have a darker background. The darker background also actually visually recedes. So once you look out of a property that does have darker borders, the darker borders almost disappear, and you tend to look at the plants in front of them, the furniture in front of them, and you don't actually see the edges of the garden, and this just gives you a little bit of an appearance of space. Now on to tip number 5, and it's to use evergreen planting. Evergreen planting will give you colour all throughout the year, so it's going to give you a nice pop of life even in the December, January dark months of the year, and there's a good reason to use it. Also, it will help you have a bit of structure all year round as well. Evergreen plants also will make sure that your borders never look bare, and you can also use them in conjunction with sort of perennials and some other more seasonal planting to add interest, the evergreens being there so that you don't lose that interest throughout the winter. So I hope these tips have helped. If you are looking for hard landscaping materials to help you maximise your small garden, we've got a link in the description. Come and have a look at our website. We've got loads and loads of products. There's more information on our blog and the rest of our YouTube channel if you want more tips and ideas about how to create lovely spaces. Thanks for having you with us, and we'll see you next time.